They covered over there. When did you start the coaching business then? Like, how did?
That's quite a funny story in itself,
really?
actually. Yeah, I had this guy that kept hassling me in the nicest terms. He's like, "Do you do coaching?" I was like, "Sorry, I don't." Like,
leave me alone. Restraining order or not?
No, he's like, I still talk to him now. He's an amazing person, actually. Amazing person. He's a great person, yeah. And he just like kept messaging me like every few weeks, like, "I really love it if you coach. I love your riding style. I love the way that you control the bike. Are you interested?" I was like, "Well, I don't have my first aid. I don't have qualifications. I've never done it before." And at the same time, without like being honest, I had no interest in doing it either.
Yeah.
I was just happy where I was in my life and everything I was doing. And it got to the point where he just kept asking. And I was like, "Yeah, 100%, but it has to be off book. Like, you know, I'm not
cash.
Yeah,
we're talking cash, aren't we? We're talking
cash. It's more than just I had no qualifications. I had like no first aid. Like,
it's pretty scary, isn't it? That
had no of the official stuff that you should have. Anyway, I coached him, and it was really fun. Really enjoyed the process. And then that evening, he wrote on, I think it was a Surrey Hills Facebook page, or something like that, of split times difference for his like local trail. And honestly, it was 2 A4 pages long, this review of me coaching him. And that night I had like 150 DMs on Facebook about coaching. And that was it. I made a coaching business from there. So I made the website, did all my first aid, my qualifications, all like public liability, all the boring stuff. And then that was it.
Wow.
It was like another job in itself alongside my other job.
See, I've never really understood how the coaching stuff could work. So what like, let's say a customer comes to you, a client, whatever you call it, and they're, you know, relatively new to mountain biking. How do you go about assessing where they're at? And then what are like the main things then that you try and pick up on to help get someone more competent, let's say? So
for me, it's like, I've ridden bikes for so many years, same with Olly, and, you know, like I can look at someone with half a run, you know, 10 seconds on a bike and being like, why are you doing that? Why is your foot in that position? Why is all your weight on your tippy toes? Why aren't your cranks flat? Why are you slightly leant back? Why are you off the back of the bike? You know, and I can literally put a plan together within such a short period of time, and just with like 3 really important things, they'd be twice the rider they were before. And sometimes they've got themselves in a bad habit. Yeah. Maybe they've watched 32 YouTube videos and each one's given them a different opinion on that. And then they've got, Johnny said I've got to do this, someone said I've got to do this, and then they're going into a jump like, they don't really know what they're doing. Yeah. And sometimes like if you simplify it, you know, and sometimes bike setup as well. Right. That's a lot to be said about it. Like, so that's what you do first. You just be like, right, where's your bike at? Right. Always. You know, I've had guys coming to me with their shock bolt hanging out to the point there's no thread. Literally, it's hanging out. And if I pulled the bike up and the shock came out. Like every lesson before it starts, check tyre pressures.
Is it the M check, W check?
Yeah. But a lot of the time, like underinflated tyres, really, really common. So people come to me and they do a general like load of riding, loads of different areas. But like if you're pumping into a transition and you have 18 PSI on your back tyre, what's going to happen? You know, it's going to bolster one way or the other, and you've already gone wonky like I did in a tree before you've done anything else wrong. Same with rebound. Sometimes I got a pogo stick in the back and be like, that's how the bike shop set up for me, or that's how I've had it for the last 2 years. Right. And you're like, no wonder you're struggling. So, you know, go over the bike, make sure they got the basics and fundamentals, make sure they're relaxed and having a good time, and go from there, really. Like, mountain biking's fun at the end of the day, that's why we do it. So you've got to have fun when you're doing it. And if you're all stiff and, like, petrified, that makes it way harder as well, so. Yeah.
Do you reckon there's, like, I've never had any coaching for biking. It's well interesting, the thought of someone, I guess you sort of do with each other, don't you? You'll just get ripped by your mates if you're like, well, you look well stiff in that turn.
I think like when me and Sam Wren were doing Speed and Style together, we'd always follow each other down to discuss line choice, but that's because we wanted to better each other and like help each other out. And you know, you're both professionals, but you both have a different opinion on what you think's a better line choice, or why you'd pick that over that, or you prefer to be on the inside of the turn rather than the outside of the turn, or you know, there's always never the perfect way. Yeah, I don't think.
So it's just a conversation. It's really, when you actually put coaching like that, it's way less like a lesson and more like a, have you thought about...
Yeah, suggestion box.
Yeah, innit? Yeah.
Well, I do actually say to people, like, try not to be nervous, just that you're biking with a friend that's going to tell you some good stuff. Yeah. Because sometimes if they've never had coaching to date, it's quite a big thing, isn't it? Like, you think you have driving lessons, you have skiing lessons, you have like lessons in all aspects of life. Whereas in the last 2 years, it's become super popular to actually have mountain bike lessons because you can enjoy it more.
Yeah,
you actually know what you're doing.
And it can be pretty dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Well, dude, it can be dangerous if you do know what you're doing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I'm about to do a really good segue, but if I booked up for a coaching course, maybe I got like a what do you call it, a voucher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. I turn up and there's a bloke that rides the biggest jumps in the world. I'll be like, what is he going to teach me?
I don't want to do big jumps. I just want to do yeah. But that's the good thing about where we teach at the ball track. We have an array of features. So you've got I teach people from 7 years old up to I had a 70-year-old regular.
Wow.
Really, yeah.
He drove from Bournemouth to Crowborough, which is 2.5 hours. On his what bike was he on? What's the really
Shot mobility?
Yeah, it's on a mobility scooter, and we did some two-wheeling. No, he had a lightweight e-bike. Can't remember which one it was, and he absolutely loved it. And it was amazing to see that if at 70 years old, if you didn't have that e-bike, there'd be no way he'd be riding. No way.
No.
So, a lot to it as well, isn't there? Like when you get to that age, having momentum, having something that you enjoy, is very important.
Oh yeah. Like you've worked your whole life.
Yeah.
You might have a bit of money behind you, and you can just sit there and read the newspaper or whatever. Getting out on your bike and.
So he's getting coached by someone who rides 120-foot jumps.
It's so good.
110, sorry.
Probably go 120 to be fair.
Right, so how'd you get into Fest? How'd you get into big jump riding? Because it seems a long way from a skate park in Eastbourne.
Yeah, let's keep this one close. Sorry, we'll keep that nice and close because it's been. Did you enjoy this clip? If so, please like and subscribe. The full episode is available by hitting one of the links on the screen right now, or type The Ride Companion into your favourite podcast app. We've even put links in the show description for you. Cheers!